Last week, I spoke with Turkey's Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoglu about the Turkish flotilla affair. Now to hear the Israeli side of the story, I welcome Israel's Deputy Foreign Minister, Danny Ayalon. Good to have you on the program.
Pleasure to be heard.
Mr. Deputy Foreign Minister, do you believe that there were groups on the Turkish flotilla that had ties to terrorist organizations?
Absolutely. And if we look at the flotilla, there were 6 ships altogether. 5 were taken into the shore unscathed, with no resistance. They were really peace activists. Unfortunately, on the Turkish ship, we saw 2 types. They're out of 675 people on the ship. About 600 were peace activists. I would say naive peace activists. About 75 were mercenaries. We found the money on their bodies, $10,000 apiece. They were associated with Al-Qaeda and other terror organizations. They are graduates of Afghanistan or Iraq. They had a hierarchy. They were arranged in a military type or paramilitary organizations. They were well equipped, and they were ambushing our soldiers. They occupied the higher deck, the top deck, to wait for soldiers.
And they had ties to Al-Qaeda, you said?
Absolutely, absolutely. And by the way, all those who were killed were hitting our soldiers with the purpose of killing our soldiers or kidnap them to negotiate some kind of a deal to go into Gaza. You see,
you think that they were trying to take Israeli soldiers hostage?
Absolutely, 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 and put them in an inner cabin.
But the weapons they had, at least from the videos, were slingshots and sticks. They didn't seem, when you say well-armed.
They had hatchets, and they had iron rods, and they had axes and knives. Also, it's not inconceivable that they had firearms, which they threw overboard. This is being checked now.
Why did Israel reject the call for an international inquiry from the UN Secretary General? Because the Turkish Foreign Minister says it's because you guys don't want an impartial investigation of the facts.
No, not at all, actually, Farid. We would be very much welcoming an inquiry. It's our interest to expose all the facts. We have nothing to fear, on the contrary. And this is why I think what we will go for is an impartial inquiry. We will welcome any international observers to check that, to verify the impartiality. We're very proud, as you know, with our robust and independent judiciary, and its credibility and its reputation.
But it won't be an international inquiry, it will be an Israeli government inquiry.
I think that everybody understands and knows that Israel is quite capable of investigating itself. We have done it ample times, but out of the ordinary, we would welcome some observers, because we want to show this due process of the law in complete impartiality and transparency. And I'm sure that once all the details are revealed, there will be great embarrassment for those who arranged this flotilla.
Turkey was one of only 2 nations that voted against the sanctions on Iran this week in the UN Security Council. Are Turkish-Israeli relations really on a downward spiral right now?
Well, I cannot tell you at this moment. Obviously, things are not going well between Israel and Turkey, but it's not because of any Israeli activity or any Israeli policy. Quite the contrary. And we're still biting our lips, and we're still trying to be very responsible. The Israel-Turkey relations is very, very important. It's very important to the United States. It's very important to the Middle East. It's very important to both countries, Turkey and Israel. And I do hope that some sense will get back into the relationship. We are more than willing to continue the way we used to in the past.
When I asked the Turks, when others asked them, will Turkish-Israeli relations improve, they say it's up to Israel. That I think they are looking for some kind of an apology, some kind of something where they feel you were the ones who boarded that boat, you're the ones who attacked their flotilla. You need to take a move. What move is Israel willing to make to try and repair relations with Turkey?
I don't think that we need to apologize. On the contrary, when we need to apologize, or when we feel like we need to apologize, we have no problems of doing it. But here, no way Israel will apologize. It's not for Israel to apologize, but quite the contrary.
Do you mean it's for Turkey to apologize?
Well, it's for those who organize this flotilla, whether it's the IHH, which I told you has known ties with the terror organizations, Global Jihad and Al-Qaeda. I think it's they need to check themselves, and those who support them need to check themselves.
What about the blockade of Gaza itself? This has come under a lot of criticism. Tony Blair is publicly calling for the end to the blockade. There are more and more governments talking about it. When I look at the list of prohibited items, I read them on the show last week: cilantro, jam, chocolates. Now I realize this week, perhaps in response to all that outcry, cilantro and jam are off the list. But why is there such a tight blockade that prevents so many food items from getting into Gaza? And there seems to be something inhuman about it.
You're absolutely right, and we are correcting it. There is no reason not to have a full array of food to the Gazans, and we are making sure this will be the case. However, this is the secondary issue. The primary issue here is the blockade in order to prevent the Hamas from rearming itself to the teeth and they get all these smuggled arms from Iran and Hezbollah and Syria. People forget, but only a year and a half ago, less than a year and a half ago, 1 million people, Israelis, our population from the south, were subject to this terrible terror of intermittent missile launching on our markets, on our schools, on our workshops, on our farms. This could not be. And in order to make sure that we will not need to resort to more violence, we need this blockade unless and until Hamas changes its course of action.
Danny Ayalon, thank you as always.
Thank you.
And we will be right back.
And then